Okay, so this time I'm not actually upset. I kind of like this question that he's posing. This is a response to somebody's video. I didn't even bother to look at the name. Sorry, but it was answer me this, atheists, or explain this to me, atheists. And the question was, if you don't believe in a higher being, where did the universe come from? Which is an excellent question. Um, I personally am not quite an atheist. There's always that one or two things that it's like not even science can explain. So I say possibly God, and I'm like I'm very reluctant to say that kind of thing about science, but I'm not saying that the universe came from God. I'm not saying that. However, the thing that created the universe. I mean, he also asked why. Now there's something. A lot of people are under the impression that the universe was created for a reason. Like there was some logical plan behind what happened, behind the Big Bang, behind creating a universe. And there wasn't, as far as I think. I mean, my personal belief is that there was no good reason for creating a universe. The universe was created, that is true. The universe came into being by the Big Bang. And string theory, which there are actually 5 different string theories, so it's a little bit more like a philosophy than a theory, but string theory, as explained by Brian Greene, Greene, I believe, um, describes pan-dimensional membranes called branes, branes. No, no, not like brain. Um, and when two clack together, like collide, at the point of collision, there's a big bang uh, in the first several dimensions, which is a little difficult to describe without going into great detail. But my my what I still leave to God is the creation of the membranes. But I don't leave it to a higher being, I leave it to a higher power. I don't think that there's some old guy with a beard who looks like a human, ugh, up there controlling these giant membranes, slapping them together, creating new universes all over the place. Now, to go into more detail, when two membranes collide, the point of collision, matter and energy are created. Now, not matter and energy. It's more like a nothing. It's not. It's hard to explain. In the emptiness of what we know as three-dimensional space, without a universe, what is on the other side of the edge of the universe, a point is created. A point no bigger than an electron, probably smaller than an electron, and it is pure something. It's not energy and it's not matter. It's just one unidentified substance. And all the forces that we know of in the universe, the 4 forces, gravity, electromagnetism, the weak force, and the strong nuclear force. Unless it's the weak nuclear and then the strong. No, it's the strong nuclear and the weak force. Those are the ones that control the atoms. All of those were one singular force. Then there was a big bang. And in a fraction of a second, matter and energy were defined, but there was also antimatter. And the antimatter and matter collided and destroyed each other in huge explosions. But this is all just in the first few seconds. And very quickly, there was more matter, or what we call matter, than antimatter. So antimatter was destroyed, and now the 1% difference. No. For every million molecules of antimatter, there was 1,000,001 of matter, supposedly. Um, and that one atom difference is all it took to create the entire universe. And 95, or is it 99? I'm pretty sure it's 95% of the existing atoms in the universe are hydrogen. So that means that out of all those little points, which were hydrogen to begin with, only 5% of the survivors fused and became other things. But I don't leave that to God either, because science explains this too. Just because as it expanded faster and faster, the Big Bang, um, it sent hydrogen gas everywhere. Just big pools of hydrogen gas. And they came into these gigantic stars. supposedly. Uh, theoretically, and a theory is a very big thing. It's not. A lot of people think that a theory is just a small little guess. It's not. A theory is a big thing. And then big, just ball of hydrogen gas, bigger than any star in existence now. And most stars that we know of, when they die, either collapse inward and become a black hole, or expand outward rapidly and become a supernova. Massive stars do both. The core of the star becomes a black hole, the exterior of the star goes everywhere. And that's where we get galaxies, because the star was spinning, or if the star was spinning, we get a spiral galaxy because we get a big ring of gas that then form into smaller stars based around this black hole at the center. A supermassive black hole is what they call it. And the galaxy, the spiral galaxy, orbits around this black hole. And then in other galaxies, which are just clusters, the big star wasn't big enough to both collapse and expand, or maybe it was and it expanded in every direction instead of just a disk. Um, and then so it expanded, and instead of going in a disk, it just became a cluster of stars floating freely like a spiral galaxy would, except instead of being based around a black hole in a disk, it might be based around a black hole, but it's in a big clump. And that's supposedly where the universe came from, as we know it. Um, so I do believe in a higher power. I do not believe in a higher being, if that makes sense. Because 11-dimensional membranes are pretty difficult to comprehend as it is. And if there's anything higher than that, it's a little bit of a stretch. But also, thinking that the universe was created for a reason is pretty arrogant. Because if you believe the string theory thing that two membranes clack together and that created the Big Bang, that means that that kind of thing is happening all the time. And that means that their universe is just accidentally being created here and there. Then, of course, if you believe in the first five dimensions of space, time, and reality, then every universe has billions of universes stacked inside of it to create alternate possibilities of the present moment. See, a four-dimensional creature, or being, not necessarily creature, can travel through the fourth dimension, which is time. But it can also move through the first three, which is forward, backward, left, right, up, down. 5 dimensions. Or three dimensions. Then the fourth is time, which you can't really point in the direction of time, so I can't really show you. And then the one that's even harder to point to is the fifth dimension. Different possibilities of the present moment. A 5-dimensional being, if he spilled some sort of hot liquid on himself and it burned his hand and he couldn't use his hand anymore, he could easily just jump into another possibility in which he didn't spill it on himself. He could just jump his consciousness into that other possibility of the present moment, and he would be able to use his hand again. Or I guess it could be a she or an it. Whatever. Point is, thinking that the universe was created for a special reason is very arrogant. I mean, our universe just happens to be able to support life, so it supports life. A universe that can support life, oh, I forget who said it. Somebody said that the universe is constantly in the business, in the job of has the job of creating life, like constantly in the business of creating life, which supports some alien conspiracies. I don't think that aliens would have any reason to visit Earth, but whatever. But so our universe can support life, so it does. Other universes might not be able, so they don't. So there was, just like those universes, which seem to have no reason for being created, there was no reason for this one to be created. We think there's a reason because we think there should be. That's why people create religion, so that they think they've got a reason. But I think that the best reason is best reason for being alive is supporting other people other people in the world, giving them reason, and supporting their reason. Like people who build gigantic polluting factories are purposeless. They're not helping anybody by polluting the planet and making the world a worse place for everybody else. So, but there's really no reason for us to be here. There's no reason for us to live. If you want to commit suicide because I said that, go ahead. I can't control you, but oh well, that sounds bad. I could be sued for this. But point is, there is no reason for the universe to be created. It's just here.